Hi boys and girls. Okay, for math today, we are going to be working with 3D shapes. Okay, so 3D shapes are not our flat solid shapes, but they look like this. They kind of more like pop out towards you, okay? So we will be working with some vocabulary with these and discussing the names of all these shapes, okay? Unfortunately, you guys did not get any shapes sent home. We did not have enough for everybody to have them sent home. So I encourage you to look online as well. YouTube has lots of videos about 3D shapes. So you can be looking on that as well as paying attention to today's lesson. Okay, so today we are on 14-6, 3D shapes. All right, right up here in the green box, we're going to be looking at this. So that's where I want you to pay attention. It says three-dimensional or 3D shapes can be grouped in different ways. The flat surface of each of these shapes is a circle. So if you look in the box here, the green one is what we call a cylinder. Okay, a cylinder on mine looks like this. Okay, and when they're talking about the flat shapes, okay, when they're talking about the flat part, the top and the bottom of the cylinder is flat, which makes it stand straight and not roll. Okay, when there is a flat surface on our 3D shapes, it does not roll. Okay, so the other shape that they have here is what we call a cone. It also has a flat shape. Okay, so here's the flat shape on the cone, which makes it not roll. So if I had it on its sides, it would be able to roll. But if we put it on the flat surface of it, the shape now does not roll. Okay? Up at the top in the green again, it says these shapes have edges and vertices. Their flat surfaces are called faces. All right, so they are looking at these two shapes here. Put my other shapes down. They are looking at a cube and a rectangular prism. Okay, these shapes do not roll because they have all flat surfaces. Okay, all of the sides make a flat surface. Same with our rectangular prism. Okay, and if you look around in your house, you may have some of these objects like a dice or a tissue box. Okay, a cylinder would be like a can of soup. Okay, so if you have any canned goods. A cone would be like an ice cream cone if you have one of those waffle like sugar cones. If you have a cone, maybe like the traffic cones, or my kids have cones that they use for obstacle courses, that would be a cone. Okay, so I encourage you to go and look at those shapes at home too and investigate and find their flat surfaces or their faces, and then we'll talk about vertices and edges here in just a minute as well. All right, and then the last shape here that they are showing us is a sphere, is a 3D shape that has no flat surfaces, no edges, and no vertices. So a sphere is like your basketball or a volleyball or a softball or a baseball, okay? It rolls the entire time, okay? There is nothing flat about this. All right, so feel free to pause and see if you have any of those shapes at home to kind of play around and work with and discuss, maybe even with your parents or with your siblings, okay? So if we are to look at our first shape, they have a rectangular prism here. So I'm going to get that out. Here is my rectangular prism, which is like a tissue box, okay, boys and girls, or your iPad. It would be a rectangular prism, okay? So if we were to talk about, they want us to fill in the number of faces or the flat surfaces. Now, when I'm doing this, when we do flat surfaces, I always think top, bottom, front, back, side, side, okay? So let's count our flat faces. on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Those are the flat surfaces. So if you have a flat surface at home, a rectangular prism at home, I want you to go ahead and count the flat surfaces or the faces. So like, again, I could use my eraser. Top and bottom, 1, 2, they're flat. Front and back, 3, 4, they're flat. 5, 6 on my sides. Okay, so you can pause the video, find one, and count if you can. Okay, next they want to talk about the vertices. Remember, vertices are where the 2 points, 2 edges come together to make that point. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, that was the top, and the bottom. 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 of them. Okay, now if I'm looking at my eraser, there's not as many crisp points like there was on my rectangular prism shape that I have here, but it's the same thing. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the bottom, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then next we're talking about the edges. All right, the edges are the 2 straight edges that make the vertices. Okay, so on the eraser, I'll use that since I have this here. 1, going around, 2, 3, 4, bottom, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and now your sides, 9 and 10. I do not count these tops and bottoms because I already did them. And this side, 11, 12. There are 12 edges to this shape. And the same thing is for our rectangular prism. I'll show you on here again. I go around and do the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I do my bottom. 5, 6, 7, 8. And now my sides, 9, 10. Other side, 11, 12. There are 12 edges on a rectangular prism. Okay, next shape we have is our cone. Put that here. All right, if we were to look at our cone, here is our cone. Okay, first, how many flat surfaces or the faces? Remember, flat is where it makes it not roll. So we only have 1. So we're going to put a 1 flat surface. How many vertices? Ooh, I dropped that. How many vertices do we have here? Remember, that's where it all comes to a point. 1. Good job. And then edges. There are actually no edges here because this shape rolls. Okay, so 0 edges. Good job. Let's look on to the next page. All right, next, this shape here, your soccer ball. Anybody know what shape that would be? It is a sphere. Good job. How many, looking at the shape in the picture, or if you have one, if you went and found one and brought it back, or you can look here, how many flat faces or surfaces does it have? 0. There's no flat surfaces or faces because it rolls the entire time. How many vertices, how many points do you see here? 0. And edges, where the 2 lines would come together to make a vertice. 0. Very good. All right, if you have your cube or a dice, something that looks like a cube, you can get that out. Okay, let's talk about, first it wants to know the flat faces or the surface, faces or the flat surfaces, yes. Okay, so again, remember, I always do top, bottom, front, back, side, side. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 flat surfaces or faces. Okay, next we have our vertices, which are our points. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the bottom, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we have 8 vertices. Again, I encourage you to see if you can find a dice at home. Okay, and then let's go ahead and count our edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the bottom, 5, 6, 7, 8, and our sides, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 edges. And this shape here, this drum, is like a cylinder, okay, or your can of soup. Okay, so if you went and got a can of soup, then get that out and look at that. How many flat surfaces do we have for this one? 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom. Very good. So that would be 2 flat surfaces. How many vertices or points do you see here? 0. Very good. There are 0 vertices. And how many edges do we have? This object rolls. Okay. We have no edges. Good job. All right. Let's take a look at the bottom here. All right, Lily has an object that looks like a 3D shape. The object has 2 flat surfaces and 0 vertices. Draw an object that Lily could have. So let's take a look at these 3 shapes here. All right, since you guys do not have the shape sitting in front of you, which shape could it be out of these 3? It has 2 flat surfaces and 0 vertices. It would be the cylinder, your can of soup. Remember, flat surfaces, 1, 2, no vertices and no edges, and it rolls. Very good. Good job, boys and girls. All right, let's turn the page. All right, this is a shape of a cone. Below is also a cone. Which shape also is a cone? How do you know? All right, so this shape here is also the cone. What makes a cone different from the cylinder? So if I'm looking at my cylinder and my cone, what makes these 2 different? They both have flat surfaces and they both can roll, but a cone has what? The cone has a vertice. So you can write that in. The cone has 1 vertex. 1 vertex right up the top. 1 point. Okay, pause that if you need some time to write. Number 8. Nikki and Ben each buy 1 item from the store. Nikki's items has 4 more edges than vertices. Ben's item has the same number of flat surfaces and edges. Draw a circle around Nikki's item and draw a box around Ben's item. Okay, so we're looking here at these 3 objects. All right, so Nikki's item needs a circle. Okay, so let's go back up and look at it. Nikki's item has 4 more edges than vertices. So look at these. Which would have more edges than vertices? All right, this one right here, very good, looks like an eraser. Okay. And then Ben's has the same number of flat surfaces as edges. All right, would be this one. How many flat surfaces does Ben have? 0. How many edges are there? 0. Very good. So they are the same. This one has 2 flat surfaces and 0 edges. So we know it could not be this one. All right. Draw and label a 3D shape, then write a sentence describing your 3D shape. So go ahead and you can pick any item that you would like to draw and describe it. When you're describing it, tell me the flat surfaces, tell me the vertices, tell me the edges. All right, and you can hit pause, and then when you're ready to come on to number 10. All right, number 10 says, I have 6 faces. I have 8 vertices. Which 3D shape could I be? Choose all that apply. So that means we could have more than one answer. So let's take a look. A sphere. A sphere looks like this. Does it have any faces or vertices? No. So we already know it cannot be this one. Next, it said a cube. Okay, 6 faces, 8 vertices. Let's count our faces on a cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that works. Now our vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. It is a cube. Okay. Rectangular prism. Let's take a look at that one. We need 6 faces. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that works. Now let's count our vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the bottom. 5, 6, 7, 8. So that works as well. Let's check out our cylinder. If you have your cylinder or your can of soup there. Okay, how many faces? 1, 2. So we already know that this one does not work because we needed 6 faces. Remember, faces, flat, both start with an F. All right. All right, the next section, boys and girls, is the homework section where you can explore more with your parents, okay? I encourage you to maybe even restart this video or go and get some shapes at home. Like I said, this could be a can of soup. Your rectangular prism can be your tissue box, if you have one. Your cube could be a dice. Your sphere could be a bouncy ball, a basketball, volleyball, softball, baseball. And then a cone, I think, is going to be the hardest one to find at home. Trying to get my cone here. Might be the hardest one to find at home, but an ice cream cone is the only thing. Or, like I said, if you guys do obstacle courses at home, sometimes you have like those little traffic cones. Okay? So play around with them. Maybe rewatch the video as we explain what a faces and vertices and the edges are. I hope you guys are having a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye.